Hey YouTube, Matty's8012, Team JMT, coming to you guys with the latest on my local tracks. I'll let all of you guys vote, and you voted for the Frog Monarchs on an extremely close vote. So we're going to do the Frog Monarchs this week. My build is very similar to Draco DMD's build that he top 32 at the YCS Toronto with. Biggest difference is the extra deck or the side deck and the extra deck. I have a couple other choices that I use in those that he didn't. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. 3 Chaos, 3 Ryza, 3 Zaborg, 3 Vanity Fiend. That pretty much does it for the Monarchs. 3 Swap Frog, 3 Treeborn Frog, 1 Blackluster Soldier, 1 Gores, 2 Tragodia, triple Battle Fader, and triple Effect Veiler. 2 of them done in red, and 1 Supergirl. That's it for the monsters. Next for the magics or spells, 3 Pot of Duality, 1 Monster Reborn, 3 Enemy Controller, 3 Soul Exchange, 1 Heavy Storm, and double MST. That does it for the main deck. So now let's go ahead and get into the extra deck and side deck. Side deck first. I'm expecting to see a lot of Mask of Restrict and Chain Disappearance. So my initial thought is to take out my Chain Disappearance targets and bring in some beaters. So I'm going to bring in 3 Reborn Tengu, 3 Thunder King Ryo, 2 Cyber Dragon. Once I've taken out my Treeborn Frogs and my Swap Frogs, I can start running some back row, but it becomes too much trouble to try to add in a bunch of traps, so I'm just going to run 3 Royal Decree, 2 DD Crow, and 2 Smashing Round. Rounds out the extra deck, or I'm sorry, the side deck. You'll notice no Dark Hole in the main or the side. I actually have the Smashing Grounds in the side because I can choose to destroy 1 monster on my opponent's side of the field as opposed to destroying the whole field. The biggest reason for that is because if I have Treeborn Frog, I special summon it, and main phase 1 I Dark Hole, I'm left with no play afterwards. So Dark Hole really doesn't help me out that much. So last but not least, we'll go ahead and do the extra deck. A lot of this is just filler stuff, just generic stuff that I can make. No real rhyme or reason to any of it, just because the only thing that I'll really make on a consistent basis will be the gotchis. Everything else is just kind of extra stuff for the just-in-case kind of situations. 1 Decisive Armor, 1 Trish, 1 Stardust, 1 Scrap Dragon, 1 Black Rose Dragon, 1 Bryo, 1 Orient Dragon, 1 Hyper Librarian, 1 Cataster, 1 Formula, 1 Chimeratech Fortress, 1 Tyrus Keeper of Genesis. I can make this with Zaborg, and then game 2 I'll make a lot of 5-star synchroing with Tengu. 1 Utopia, 2 Gachi, and YuGiOh is my Gorge token. So there you go, guys. There's my main deck, side deck, and extra deck. Stick around and we'll see how I do round for round. Alright guys, so round 1 is over, and I played against a agent deck that the guy just got back into the game, so the deck's not really complete. I was able to make Decisive Armor, which was pretty cool. And yeah, I mean, it was just, his deck wasn't complete yet, so yeah, it was one of those kind of games. I did notice that Soul Exchange at 3 seems like a dead card, but I don't know. We'll see how that turns out the rest of the tournament. Okay, so round 2 is over. I played against Macro Monarchs. Soul Exchange was a lot better for me this game. I was actually really afraid of this matchup, but it wasn't nearly as hard as I thought it was going to be, mainly because round 1 was I just got rolling before he did, and game 1 I got rolling before he did, and then game 2 he pretty well just beat me with just his beat sticks. Game 3 my side deck really came through, bringing out the frogs and bringing in Tengus and Thunder Kings, and the Cyber Dragons was an excellent meta choice. It really turned out to be the best play that I could have made coming from my side deck. But like I said, the matchup wasn't as hard as what I was expecting, just because I was able to get rolling before he was. That's just kind of how Yu-Gi-Oh works. So I'm 2-0 right now, and we'll move on to round 3. So round 3, I played against a zombie deck. I don't know, is it synchro zombie? Zombie synchro. That's what he's gonna roll with.
That's what it did.
That's what it did. Yeah. Game 1.
Yeah, you need to say who I'm with, or you don't.
Oh,
you have to
Team
start.
Host Club.
Yeah.
Ryan Bewley. Yeah. I had to think a second. Okay, so game 1, I just brought out Chaos a whole bunch, and he burned him, and then attacked him 24 to the face a couple 3 times, which won me the game. Game 2. What happened game 2? You beat me game 2. What happened game 2?
You set on Decree and I just...
Oh, yeah. I side deck out my frogs, side deck in Tengus and Decree, and he's not running as many traps as I thought he was. Decree helped because he set on 2 back row that he wasn't able to use, but I had no fodder for... I drew 3 Chaos and 2 Vanity's Fiend and just kind of sat there and did nothing because I had nothing to tribute for them. And again, game 3, we just kind of went back and forth, whittling away each other's resources. Yeah, he trished my Treeborn Frog early game, so that set me back. But I mean, honestly, nothing in the deck is going wrong. It seems to be going really, really smooth and doing really, really well, guys. That was round 3. Are we having a round 4? There's a round 4 in there. All right, I'll talk to you guys after round 4. Alright, so that was the end of round 4. I played against the Slugger 1130 Team JMT member and his Evotile Evilsaurus deck. I don't know, pretty cool deck. It's still in the fledgling stages of building, so I feel like some card choices he's going to change and it's going to turn out a lot better. I ended up winning the match just because this is your first time playing that deck, isn't it?
First time it's legal too.
First time it's eligible to be played, yeah. I'll probably end up doing a deck profile with that because it's just a really cool looking deck. Vanity's Fiend just raped. If I could play 4 or 5 Vanity's Fiend, I would. It was just that good.
Game 1 for you.
And I mean, what else? I mean, everything else. All my card choices have been really good. Everything's been really good to me this tournament. Blackluster Soldier is working amazing. Everybody keeps telling me that's a bad choice in Frog Monarchs, but it's working out great. Yeah, so that's about it, guys. I think that's the last round. Should be going to the top 4. If I make top 4, we'll have another round of this. If not, you'll see it at the end of the little overview. Alright, guys, I made top 4. I was number 4 seed. I played against Ryan Bewley, the number 1 seed, a rematch of his zombie synchro stuff. And fatigue set in, and I just really did not feel like side decking. And it actually paid off. I ended up winning game 1 and 2. Ended up winning game 2 to a well-placed enemy controller.
You won both games.
Yeah, that's how I won both games. A well-placed enemy controller. But yeah, enemy controller, Treeborn Frog in the standby phase is an amazing play, and it's really good.
And it makes more.
And we opened. So I got a Hidden Arsenal 2-pack and pulled trash for making top 2, and then we opened the extra turbo pack and it wasn't worth playing for, so we didn't play the top 2 match. So I guess we split the number 1 place with me and the guy playing Sam's. So, yeah, I'm going to go home. I'll lay all this out. We'll do an overview, and I will tell you guys what I would change. Alright, guys, so I'm back home now. The deck did really well. As you guys can probably tell from the change in my voice and the sniffles that I've got, I've been sick the last couple of days and just really did not feel like playing. But I ended up finishing out the tournament and making the top table, and me and Adam Horn split that last pack. Really nothing worth playing for, so decided not to play it out. But yeah, so I go 3-1 out of 4 rounds of Swiss, and then ended up going into the top 4, winning my top 4 match, and then splitting the top prize. So what would I change about the deck? Let's talk about how the deck performed. In particular, cards. Blackluster Soldier was always live. That was an excellent choice. Plenty of lights and darks to feed it. Zaborg and Vanity's Fiend were both excellent choices. Vanity's Fiend raped so much stuff all night long, and Zaborg was just a constant, just free killing of a monster, and it just, Zaborg and Vanity's Fiend both just worked out so well for me. As far as the monster lineup, I don't know that I would change anything unless they allowed me to start running more than 3 of Vanity's Fiend. I guess that would be the biggest thing I could think of, is I would want to run more of that card. The spells in the deck, Enemy Controller 3 was awesome. Soul Exchange, I believe Draco DMD makes this same comment in his video. Soul Exchange seemed dead sometimes. I feel like I could have main decked 2 and it not been a big deal. I mean, I really liked having 3 there, but I kind of feel like I could have main decked 2 and it not been a huge factor to me. The main deck is at 41 right now. I could have dropped that and it been at 40 and it not been an issue. Or actually, I could have dropped that and made it either a 3rd MST or a Nobleman of Extermination. And I feel like it would have been even better and stayed at 41 cards. So that's the main deck. The deck is actually a lot more live than what I thought it was. But yeah, that's the main deck. The side deck. Now, my side deck is not something that I think you should do going into any other tournament. The only reason this side deck worked for me is because I feel like, I know that everybody at my local also subscribes to my channel. So if they were smart enough to count along with the vote, they knew what I was going to be playing tonight. So they knew what to side deck for as far as the frogs and everything. So I felt like I was going to see a lot of Chain Disappearance, and I was going to see a lot of Mask of Restrict. So siding out, knowing that going in that everybody was going to be heavily side decked for me, siding out the frogs and a couple other monsters, and siding in the Royal Decrees, the Thunder Kings, the Tengus, and sometimes the Cyber Dragons worked excellent for me. And depending on the matchup, sometimes Crows or Smashing Grounds, that worked excellent for me in my local meta. This was an excellent meta choice for me tonight, but I don't know that this would work for everyone. So just keep that in mind, that I went into this knowing that everybody at my locals subscribes to me also, so they all knew what I was going to be playing coming into tonight. As far as the extra deck is concerned, I really didn't need any of it, just because the only tuner I run is Effect Veiler. The only other tuner in the deck is Formula Synchron, and I did make that a couple times. It was useful. I did make Decisive Armor. Actually made Decisive Armor out of Formula, Swap Frog, and a Chaos, and put in some major attack with it. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, the only thing that was really missing out of the extra deck could have been an armory arm. But to be completely honest with you, all of the times that I had a level 4 or I had 4 stars to go into the level 4 armory arm, I had 2 level 2s and I went into Gachi instead, and it was just as well that way. So, I mean, it was never really a major issue to me, but the extra deck is just really not a major factor in this style of deck. The changes that I would make to this deck, I guess the only real change that I would make would probably be to try to squeeze in a mind control in the side deck if I was to play this style again, just because taking my opponent's Reborn Tengu and exceeding with it is such an excellent play. You just can't beat that. Takes pluses away from them and gives you a nice Utopia or Roach. So there you go, guys. I hope you appreciate it. Subscribe, comment down below, show us how much you love us.